Hey, what's going on? So this can be a weekly review. It's gonna be the weekly review for week 3, November. This is last week, right? It's Tuesday, November 25th right now. Currently in week 4, November. I'm treating week 4, November pretty casually, simply because it's Thanksgiving. Um, really coming from this perspective of, it'll be interesting to see, in the weekly review for next week, but just to see the holiday delivery. Not really anticipating too much, so yeah, either way, getting into last week's price action for ES. So here we got the weekly range, right? We also got that 3 week look back. Very interesting, right? Again, Monday, Friday. Um, high of day, or high of day, but high of week as well during the London. And then low of week during the London as well. So pretty interesting. Additionally, here for ES, we got that 276 handle weekly range. Yeah, so just breaking down the price engine day today, we got consolidation, expansion, reversal. Classic move, right? Very interesting to see these 3 part moves and these 5 part moves, but really these 3 part moves specifically, right? We got the consolidation to the expansion is Judas swing, reversal is stop hunt. A very interesting way to deliver, right? Like this in alignment with the delivery for a daily range. Very fascinating. Kind of just a sloppy day, in my opinion, here for Tuesday. So we see the same thing on NASDAQ as well, but really this retracement expansion, very interesting early day situation. Um, Potential AM PM or AM expansion PM reversal intraday as well. Kind of like a market maker situation overall. I mean, there probably were some opportunities intraday internal to the range here. So not necessarily like poo-pooing the way that it looks, but overall kind of high resistance. Here we see one of those 5 part moves here. So we got the consolidation to expansion, retracement, really back to consolidation, followed up retracement. So overall, pretty interesting day here for Wednesday. Again, kind of high resistance though. Tuesday, Wednesday was very high resistance. Interesting how Monday, Wednesday really put in place that weekly range here, or excuse me, Monday, Thursday. So here again, like very classic, similar how Monday was a very smooth action with the to price delivery. Thursday, very smooth. Very interesting as well how we sort of see like how these 2 candles essentially engineered liquidity for the Thursday move. And so we can appreciate that as well. But either way, retracement. You could just call all of this a consolidation though, but I was calling that retracement into the consolidation. Expansion to the expansion is Judas swing reversal stop. Very interesting as well, right? Essentially to that, really like most extreme SIBI here for the week. So pretty fascinating. Respect shown though to that level, to that Monday high. So same thing on Nasdaq as well. So overall, very interesting. And then again, like we've seen this similar look the past couple weeks of essentially like retracement of Friday, that TGIF retracement into the range. So we see that consolidation to the expansion, to the retracement, to the expansion. Could also be looked at as like consolidation to expansion. And then within this, we see the retracement to expansion. That's really how I was originally looking at it. But either way, plain and simple, consolidation, expansion, really, right? As that retracement into the range. So, breaking down the times of day here and the daily ranges as well. So here we got the Monday, right? Monday at 3 a.m. And then that low of day at 1500. So we got the London high PM low as its own sort of daily template. Pretty interesting. Low of day at 11, high of day at 13. Again, just sort of, high resistance day, honestly. Not much, there's not much else to say. Interesting, though, on Wednesday here, we do see that low of day during that New York midnight, that first hour. Always a very interesting hour to study the first hour of any day. Very interesting. I mean, Thursday New York PM just like aggressively going lower, closing lower into that, that central bank dealers range. Does trade to and through the uh, New York PM low. So that's interesting as well, that final hour there. Excuse me. And then again with the retracement into the range, low of day at 5, high of day at New York PM, and then we see that retracement into the lunch range, into that, those AM trailed stops as well. So pretty interesting situation here on Friday. Basically, expecting the same types of situations here with NASDAQ, that correlated market. But at the same time, too, we will see some differences. And that's always interesting. So, yeah, again, right? Monday, Friday, weekly range template. There's that weekly range for NASDAQ. All the same price engine plays here, all the same looks. And it's interesting how there's just correlation in the markets, right? But when you go and study it in detail, there are many examples of intermarket divergence. And that's really where we can see sort of like a tipping of the hand in the institutional manipulation as well. So either way, consolidation, expansion, reversal, that very clean look. Again, high resistance as well, right? Same situation, right? Retracement, consolidation, expansion, reversal. Same look, right? Really just kind of flipping through these faster because we basically just looked at the same, thing with ES, S&P. Pretty interesting as well if you remember on ES, high of day was put in place at 1300. Here on NASDAQ, high of day was essentially like this London high held as the high of day. So that's pretty interesting as well within that, high resistance situation here. Again, same situation. This should say, New York midnight, but either way, very interesting as far as first hour. Due to swing to and through the equal lows, to and through the local liquidity, trading higher to and through previous day's high. So pretty fascinating. Again, very aggressive, right? New York PM, 14, Judas swing, 15, follow through, 16, follow through as well. And then, yeah, same thing for the Friday range. See how we'll look at the Asian session now here. Sunday Asian session was that consolidation. See that consolidation to expansion, classic price engine play here for the Monday Asian. Tuesday Asian consolidation. Very interesting as well, right? We already talked about, like we literally just talked about it, but the Judas swing on both ES and NASDAQ here for the the Wednesday. Really that New York midnight candle, but then really, that sort of is the catalyst for London. Then we see that retracement, then we expand higher. So pretty fascinating Wednesday situation as well. We really see how the Asian session provides liquidity for that. So that is the consistent observation. That is the anticipation that Asian essentially consolidates and provides us that liquidity as far as entry and exit, counterparty liquidity. So yeah, kind of an atypical Asian, right? Straight up, straight up expansion. Um, Interesting as well here. Multiple, back-to-back examples of a 55 handle Asian range. 55 handles, 55 handles. Very fascinating. Kind of just weird, honestly. But either way, we also see how these provide, this was almost the inception of the Judas swing for Thursday, right? This was the inception of that, the, interweek reversal as retracement to set up the liquidity, set up the long liquidity. It's very fascinating when you consider the Asian session in general. Retracement as well there. But again, as liquidity for Friday. So yeah, NASDAQ, same looks, right? pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace.